Aloha, Rich Albertson here. This is ICS211. And in this video, I'm going to go through lab assignment number 3. So let me share my screen. Okay. On the right here, I have the assignment. And basically, it's just do lab 20-3 and chapter 20 and get it running in Visual Studio Code. Make sure your name's at the top. Demonstrate it using demonstrate and make a video and so on. So you don't really have to do anything extra for this one. There's no enhancement for this one. Just have to do it. So let me so if you look over on the left here, this is the actual Xylabs exercise here. And so this is what we're going to do. We're going to start with this. This is a template to start out with. And so let me put that in Visual Studio right here. And so there's some places there we're supposed to just fill in code here. Complete. All right, so let's start at the top. Program specifications. Write a program to calculate the U.S. income tax owed given wages, taxable interest, unemployment compensation, marital status, and the amount of taxes withheld. So you're supposed to put all these variables together and come up with the adjusted gross income. So dollar amounts are displayed as integers with comma separators. Okay, in other words, it shows you here how to display that format out. And note that program designed for incremental development. Okay, so yeah, one step at a time. All right, so within main one, input wages, taxable interest, unemployment compensation, status, and taxes withheld as integers. Okay, so over here, input main. So that's down here. And we have initialized, initialize the variables. Wages, interest, employment, status, withheld, and adjusted gross income. Yeah, there's some other things we're going to want. Okay, step 1, input information. I think we're going to be adding more stuff here, but let's first of all, we're going to have to do this little scanner things right here. And first we're going to get the wages, right? Let's see. Wages. All right. Wages equals scan. We're calling it scan now this time. Scan dot, it's an integer. Next int. So we're going to read in wages and interest. And unemployment. I'm going to copy this. Copy. And then here I can just do paste. Unemployment. Paste. Status. Paste. And withheld. Paste. Okay, so I've input the information. And okay. Looks like this. Wages, interest, unemployment, status, and withheld. Okay, complete the calculate AGI method. Okay, that would be calculate the AGI method, which is this one right up here. Okay, so that is we're bringing in wages, interest, and unemployment, and we're going to say we're going to start. Let's uh, initialize an integer. I'm going to use an integer called. I'm going to call it AGI, and I'm going to start out by saying, what is it? It's wages. Now let me just think. AGI equals. I'm going to start out by saying math. I'm doing using absolute value because in case you input negative numbers, some accountants might want to input some negative numbers for some of the dollar amounts, depending on if you're thinking of them as debits or credits or whatever. So we're just going to take the absolute value of these, and I'm going to start out by saying we start out with wages that we just read in. And then we're going to add the amount that we made in interest plus math absolute value of what I've made in interest plus the absolute value of math of what I made collecting unemployment. Okay. Adjusted gross income is the sum of the wages and the interest and the unemployment. That's the adjusted gross input. Convert any negative values to positive before summing them to correct potential input errors. Return this AGI. In other words, return the sum of these three things. It's going to be a positive number, each of these taken positive. Note that the provided code in this calls this and outputs the return values. Okay, so we go, okay, so that's it. I'm going to put a semicolon there to end that. And basically that's what we return, I guess. Make this return AGI. Okay, how's that? Spaces there. Okay, so that's calculate AGI. Reads them in, calls this, gets back a value and displays it out here. Okay, so you can run that and test that if you want to. I'm not going to do that. I'm just helping you understand how this works. Okay, that looks like that takes care of this one. Let's see. So what's this one? We're going to complete the get deduction method, and that returns based on status. So we want to see something that looks like this now. So that means that right here, we want to do something like deduction, deduction. Where are they? Don't I just do int deduction. Deduction equals get deduction. That's already there. And is that what the input is? Status? Let's see. I'm going to put a semicolon here because that's fine. That's there. And is that what this is? Get deduction. Input is status. Okay, so the deduction is simply, oh, well, then I guess I got to print it out. Okay, so I guess I would do something like this then. Once I got that, copy, go here and paste it. And instead, I'm going to print out deduction. Deduction. Okay, so it looks like this. Just like that. Oh, and this is this. Deduction. Print out deduction. So, what's deduction? It is status uh okay. It's up here. If status equals 0, then um deduction equals 6,000. I have to declare deduction here. So let's just do int deduction. Set equal to 0 to start out with. So if and then I'm going to return deduction. Return deduction. And what you need to do is if it's status equals 1, status equals 2, or anything else. So it's else if status equals 1, then do something, and that's deduction equals 12,000. Okay. Else, let's copy this and go status equals 2, means they're married. You get 2,400. And if it's anything other than 0, 1, or 2, it's just going to be 6,000. So I'm just going to go else deduction equals 6,000. I better put some semi. Okay, well, I could make this a more efficient, better looking if statement. That looks pretty good. Okay, let's see. All right. Next thing. So now it's going to print out this and test it. Next, I'm going to do complete calculate taxable. And so I guess that would be this one here. And we want to do the same kind of thing where it prints something like this out there, like that. So I'm going to do copy, paste, and I'm going to call this taxable. And I'm going to say taxable equals get taxable. Yeah, calculate calc taxable, right? Yeah, calc taxable. Calc taxable. Parentheses. Um, It's AGI common deduction. This and this. Is that what this says up here? AGI deduction. Okay, and then we want to print it out, so I'm going to say taxable income. And this is going to be taxable. All right, and then we're going to do, might as well just finish this. Get taxable, calculate tax. Paste. I'm going to call this one. Calculate tax. Okay, so I guess I'm just going to call this one tax. And I'm going to make it a double. And it's a double. Okay. And so this is just going to be tax. This is going to be calc tax. And what is calc tax take as input? Status and tax. Status. Taxable. That's taxable income. First. And so this is going to be, we're over here, we're doing this one. Federal tax. Federal tax. And this is just tax. Okay. And the last one is going to be tax due. Not sure. Calculate tax. This returns an integer. This returns an integer. Returns an integer. They're all integers, so I guess I don't. This has got to be an integer also. Right. All right. And then the last one is calculate tax due. So I'm just going to copy this. Copy, paste, tax due, tax due, tax due, and so this is going to be tax due, and this will be tax due. And what goes in here is the tax, just calculated previously. And I'm going to subtract from that withheld. And this is going to say tax due. And this is going to be tax due. And so what we need to do up here is calculate taxable, which is AGI minus deduction, I assume. Let me see. Yeah, all right. So int taxable, and it's going to be taxable equals AGI, adjusted gross income, minus the deduction. But if taxable ends up being less than 0, then taxable will just be equal to 0. and then we return tax it. Okay. Let's see. For so that's that. Calculate tax. This is going to be a quite a little bit of a harder one. Because let's see, what is it? Okay, we're doing this here. Dependent or single filers and then for married filers. So if we have something in here, and I'm not going to do this whole one for you because I'm going to let you work this one out. But if the status equals, so it's 0, 1, and 2. Right? 0, 1, and 2. So married is 2 and 0 and 1 is dependent. Okay, so that means that if it's 2, then we're talking about the married case. And I'm gonna put and inside okay, and then else um the rest of it. Okay, so this case here is uh single or dependent. That is dependent, single, or married. Okay, so that's what that so the because when we calculate the tax, in dependent and single is here and married is here. So let's see. So I'll do the status of I'll do the married, okay, and then you can do the you can do the this dependent and single. So and I don't think I'm gonna do all of these. I'm gonna do if um this is taxable is over $80,000. If that's the case, then we got to do something. Otherwise, if taxable is less than or equal to $80,000, and it's this taxable is greater than or equal to 20,001. If that's the case, then we do this right here. And otherwise, we do this. So now this is going to be this one here. I'm going to do this. So taxable, and we're computing tax, right? Yeah. let's see, we're computing the tax, and I think here, since we're going to be working with these percentages, I'm going to make this one a double tax. So we're calculating the tax. The tax is going to be, yeah, I'm doing this one here. I'm doing this one here. The tax is going to be, tax is equal to 9,200 plus 22% times the amount over 80,000. Taxable minus 80,000. So you take the taxable amount, you subtract 80,000 from it, and then you multiply that amount by 0.22, and that's the 22% of the taxable amount over 80,000. And then you add 9,200 to that, and that's what the tax is. For this one, it's different. It's this one. So I'm gonna copy this just so see what I'm doing. Copy. And that would be this one. Okay, and so that would be, it looks something like this. I'm just going to take this here and I'm going to put it here. Yeah. And it's 2,000. Okay, 2,000 plus 12% of taxable over 20,000. Taxable over 20,000. So take the amount that's just over 20,000. Taxable minus 20,000. That's going to be, say it's 30,000. Taxable minus 20,000 is going to be 10,000. 30,000 minus 20,000, 10,000. So it's 10,000 times this amount. And to that, I add 2,000, and that's what the tax is. And the last one here is just 10% of my income. So that's just going to be tax equals taxable times, oh, okay. I guess this. I was going to do this. Okay, so that's status one, and then so you got to do this one down here, and that's going to be these four. Okay, this one at 3. So we're going to start out with over 85,000, then then over 85, then over this. You're going to have two of these else ifs, because we're going to do one for this and one for this, and then the else is going to be the same. Looks like this is the same as this. These are a little different. Okay, so you can fill that in, and then calculating the tax due is let's see. Set the withheld parameter to 0 if negative to correct a potential error. Okay. So it's just going to be this one here. Oh, we're going to return the tax. It's int tax. Got to do a kind of thing like that. I don't know what you're gonna have to do. I think you got to do section. You think you got to do something. Tax, math, wow. And then you got. So anyway, it's gonna be something like that. Anyway, so you have to fill this in. And check to make sure this is right. Okay, so the last one is I'm computing at the tax due. So I'm gonna have a variable called tax due and the return tax due. And I'm supposed to check to see if the withheld is negative, and if it is, make it 0. So that's withheld here. If withheld is less than 0, make withheld equal to 0. Otherwise, tax due equals tax minus. Okay, that's basically it. All right, I pretty much did the whole thing for you, I think. Could be some errors here. You can check it out, but go ahead and try that out, test it, and submit it. All right, hope this helps. Thanks for watching.